here where you can go in and you can view trailers in standard definition or high definition. But if you do subscribe to LoveFilm, it is only standard definition video content at the moment. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to show you how services like BBC iPlayer work and how it navigates. So I'm just going to select that service. Right, for those who aren't familiar with BBC iPlayer, it's a catch-up internet-based TV service from the BBC. It's been available now for, it's got to be nearly 4 years, I would imagine. It originally was only available on computers, desktop computers. You could basically visit the websites, and if you had the correct Flash plugins, you could watch catch-up TV services on there. Generally, the programmes are kept anywhere from around a week to 2 weeks on there for you to view after they've originally been aired. However, there are some exceptions where it's only a few days or even longer than that. So what we're going to do, just to give you an example, it is the full version of iPlayer. Some manufacturers and companies who have it on their hardware, they only have a beta version which gives you a very small handful of programs, whereas with this you get exactly the same as what you would get if you were actually looking on the internet. What I'll do as I'm on it, let's have a look at the kind of quality you get from something like Doctor Who. So let's just collect it. Not a fan personally, but I've got nothing against people who are. Okay, so now I've selected the options for Doctor Who. It's now given me a couple of choices. I can either go to a higher quality, or I can watch it in standard quality. Now, as I live in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to go for a normal quality, and I believe it also gives a more fair representation of what most people will generally get in terms of picture quality from these services at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on there, watch now. Okay, so considering this is streaming in real time, the picture quality is pretty good, and it only really gets better from here. Now, where it is available, if a television programme has been broadcast in HD on the BBC service, you can also watch HD on BBC iPlayer on these televisions and other Sony products.
He slipped in the bilge water, Captain, and fell under the rig of his hand there. I don't know if he'll survive.
Okay, that's enough of Doctor Who. Now I'm going to go on to another internet TV service because I want to give a fair representation of what's available. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the home menu, and now we're going to have a look at the kind of quality you would get from services like LoveFilm. So what I'll do is I'll just play you a trailer from their website. Okay, so while this is loading, I'll just show you, as you can see, there is a HD option to watch trailers, but as I've mentioned, my internet connection isn't that great at the moment, especially as I've connected it by the wireless dongle. At the moment, I'm quite far from my router. Personally, I would go in by Ethernet or by Powerline internet for this. Just going to have a quick look through and find a service. Let's have a look and see what looks good. See if we've got anything with Mila Djokovic in. Doesn't look like it. What do the kids like? Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's have a look.
Jack, have you ever seen with your own eyes, the fountain of youth.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
We know you're in possession of a map.
You could guide an expedition.
I could use a ship. What has become of my beloved Pearl?
Okay, so we've now had a look at BBC iPlayer. We've had a look at the kind of quality you can get from that service, albeit standard definition. We've also had a look at a trailer from Love Film. Next I'm going to have a little look at YouTube, just to give you an idea of how the service looks. Once again, this is a full service. You can also log into your account that you set up on the internet on here and access all your saved videos. Let's just have a little look and see if we can find something. Okay, so if we pick this option, Sony, and see what comes up. Okay, there we go. Let's have a look at this classic Sony advertisement. Okay, so that's YouTube. As you can say, it's much the same as what you get from the experience of browsing online, but built into your TV. So what we'll do next is we'll have a quick look at Eurosport. Not really that into sports personally, but I know a lot of people are, so I will demonstrate this next feature. So let's have a look. Okay, so this is a really good sports service. As I mentioned earlier, it's not full channels, it's more highlights. However, if you don't have a subscription to these sports channels, it does give you a really good portal into catching up on sports highlights, especially the more obscure things that aren't generally covered on regular Freeview channel broadcasts. So if we just have a little look, so if we have a little look at this little clip here from the hockey.
Corey Perry to win the crown, and it's a case of keeping it in the family, as Daniel's twin brother Henrik claimed the Art Ross Trophy last season. It's the first time in league history the brothers have won scoring titles in consecutive seasons.
I wasn't really thinking that much about it, but when it got pretty close, of course, I had to think about it.
Left wing Sedin notched up 104 points in the regular season, 41
Okay,
goals.
so that's Eurosports. And the last video service that I'm going to show you is going to be Billabong channel. So if we just come out of there. Right, so as I mentioned earlier, Billabong is more towards action, sports and lifestyle. So if you just have a little look on there. So if you're into your skateboarding, your BMXing, your surfing, your wakeboarding, this is definitely going to be the web service for you. Okay, so let's just take a little look at one of the video links. Let's go for action.
ครับผมเก่งจักรินนะครับจากกรุงเทพเมืองไทยนะฮะตอนนี้ผมอยู่ที่สวนเบญจศิรินะครับที่นี่ก็เป็นที่ที่ผมกับเพื่อนๆเรามาซ้อมกันก่อนที่จะออกไปถ่ายวิดีโอสเก็ตข้างนอกกัน
Okay, so loosely translated, I'm very honoured to be on this web service channel on the Sony televisions. I have a Sony television, so should you. Well, I hope if you've been watching this video, you've found that it's answered a few questions in regards to the internet TV services on the Sony televisions and equipment. It is just a very vague tutorial. You can go into these things a lot more, and I've said I'll be following up with more tutorials on various different Sony products and internet services in the future. If you do require more information, or if you want more detailed tutorials on how to configure your new Sony equipment and get the best out of these services, you can go to www.sony.co.uk, and if you go to support section, you'll find some very detailed tutorials on there on how to do just about everything in regards to sharing media from other computers that you have to accessing internet TV services. And of course, if you do have any questions at all, you can feel free to leave a message on our Facebook page, or you can email the store, which is the email address is reading@sonycenters.co.uk. Alternatively, you can come in store or bring us on 01189 500 350. Thank you.